Welcome, folks, to Tempus Cafe this evening. My name's Dave Stewart. I'm going to be sort of your host this evening, but also for the whole weekend. I've been involved in this amazing event now for the last 3 years. No, a bit longer. We've been going longer than that, but I've been involved in it for the last 3 years, and it's a pleasure to be back here this year. We have a huge weekend of activities going on, evening this evening. And we're going to be getting underway with that. Of course, we are amongst Blue Mountains royalty here this evening. Lots of locals that have come out to help support this incredible event, but also trail runners. The Firies are here, the Fire Rescue, New South Wales Fire Rescue here, and also just some supporters of the people that are putting this event on. So thank you so much for coming out on this very chilly evening here this evening in Katoomba and being here at Tempus. Tonight's very special because we've got the guys from Talking Trails here. They're all ready to go because they are recording a live podcast this evening. So all things going to plan, this is going to work smoothly. We need you to be really, really quiet and not stomp your feet, basically, because that reverberation goes straight through the floor and into the microphones.
Unless we ask you a question.
So they're going to be on the mic. They've got the cameras set up because this will eventually be on the socials and be out there in the ether. So you're all part of that this evening. So thank you for coming. So we are here for the Firies Climb for 2025 for MND. We've got Professor Dominic Rowe here, who will also be interviewed this evening. Professor, thank you for coming along. But on behalf of the original custodians of the land on which we are standing here today, we pay our respects to elders past and present for allowing us to be here and treading on their country here tomorrow and through onto Saturday as we embark on this incredible fundraising event for MND and for all of the efforts that you've put in here. So I'm going to hand over to these guys now. We also have a very special live cross this evening to one of our Blue Mountains locals who is in a faraway land running a very, very big race. But we'll come back to you with more on that later.
All right, thanks, Dave. And for those that don't know, Dave also has a podcast called The Cowbell.
That is correct.
All right, so there's some great content that works well with what we're doing here tonight on that as well.
With Gavin Clifton, the editing of Gavin Clifton, so more info.
So welcome everyone. Robert, I'm here with Sarah and Robert as well from Talking Trails. Thanks for joining us here at Tempus Katoomba. What an awesome place. Thanks Lou for putting it on, and thanks everyone for coming. I really don't know how we got here actually. Was it your idea, Gavin? I'm not sure. I think it was Gavin's idea. Yeah, but we are trying to do a live podcast here tonight, and I don't know how the tech's going to work, but let's hope it does work. But it is an amazing cause. So the Firies Stair Climb for motor neurone disease is what we're here to I sort of see this as maybe a kick-off celebration for the whole weekend. And I just think it's awesome that just how the Blue Mountains trail running community got behind this event and continues to get behind this event. And all of you trail runners that are here tonight, it's just awesome. And it really does show the spirit of the community and what people here in the Blue Mountains are all about. And also to the Firies that have turned up, thanks for joining us. So I guess we are here to support the Firies Stair Climb. It's an event that gets bigger and bigger every year. And I guess for tonight, we're going to run a few things. So we are going to start talking about the Firies Stair Climb. We'll get Gav to come up and give us a bit of information about the event. We're then going to interview Professor Dominic Rowe, which is more... So Dominic, for those who don't know, is the head of research at Macquarie University Hospital. He'll give us we'll have a chat to him about the status of MND and what this fundraising is all about. After that, we have a live cross. So we have Michael Dunstan. Who here doesn't know Michael Dunstan? Okay, so everyone here knows Mike Dunstan. So he's a great Blue Mountains trail runner, and he's in Chamonix at the moment. About 30 hours before the start of UTMB, we'll have him dialing in around 7:30, and we'll have a good chat to him about his preparation, his race, how he's feeling, all that sort of good stuff. And we'll check the audience to see if you've got any questions that you want to ask as well. And I think that's going to be a super event. And I guess the last thing is, right now, there's a huge amount of trail running activity happening over the next couple of weeks, if you think about it. So, yes, this week is UTMB week. So what is it, a 100-kilometre race around the Mont Blanc Massif with 10,000 metres of elevation? It's probably the Super Bowl of trail running. And, so that is obviously on. Here in the Blue Mountains, we've got 6 foot coming up.
Anyone doing 6 foot? Hands up.
Hounslow. Who's doing Hounslow? All right. Yes.
Wild Katoomba.
Yeah.
Hands up.
half marathon. Jock, you should do it.
And then tomorrow's one. Who's actually doing the stairs tomorrow?
All right.
All right, maybe keep your hands up if you're doing over 3 hours. Intense.
Okay, who's doing it more than 6 hours? 12? Okay, we've lost a few at that point. Who's doing 24?
Nice.
All right, so here we go, Rob. Yeah, I believe, Rob, you were a bit bored today, so you decided to get a few practice laps in. Is that what we're talking about?
My training's been a bit quiet, so I needed to get a bit of cramming in, so I've hit the stairs already for a few laps. So lessons learned, it's really, really cold up the top and really breezy. So definitely want to be rugged up if you're hanging out at Scenic World. By the time you get down to the bottom, you could be dressed like Dennis Clark that goes around at Running Wild. For those who don't know, you could be there in t-shirts and shorts or less. It's really warm. So don't head off with a beanie and a puffer jacket and everything else, and scarves and whatever, because you'll be sweating by the time you get halfway down.
Summer at the bottom, winter at the top.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. There's some dry sections, but there's also some really muddy sections, so it's always entertaining to me to see the people that come in their brightest white jeans and brightest white shoes, designer label, but have no grip whatsoever, then see them slipping around. If you don't have trail shoes and you are going to do some laps, duck down the street to Summit here on Saturday morning. We've got a lot of really cool trail shoes that will keep you upright and not coming out proper like some of the people that I saw today who were regretting their shoe choices. And no doubt by the time they got back, regretting their choice of colour of pants too.
Cool. Well, we are going to move to the interview shortly, right?
We will, but I did want to mention before that Leadville happened the other week.
Oh, yeah. Another big international race where Blue Mountains legend Lou Clifton did an amazing time under 24 hours for females, and also Blue Mountains Shane Simpson did an amazing run over there too. So
Lou got in the top 10?
Yeah, top 10 females. Also a competitive race to actually get into anyway. So
yeah, so that's huge. So that's brilliant.
And also, I should say, some of the other UTMB runners. We've got Emily Brunt, another Blue Mountains local, going for the UTMB. We've got Anne-Marie Cook and her partner Steve doing CCC and OCC. Tanya Nicholson doing UTMB. Does anyone else know anyone else?
CCC.
Oh, CCC?
Yeah.
Anyone know anyone else in the room doing awesome events internationally? Shane
just did Leadville.
He did Leadville, yeah.
Employee, Paddy.
Oh, Paddy.
Yes.
Paddy's doing CCC. Yeah, of course. How did you forget him, Rob?
I've had other things on my mind.
Well, we wish them all luck.
Yeah, no, awesome. A great weekend. I'll be streaming a lot of the live events and watching these people as they make their way around Mont Blanc. So, Gav, I'm going to ask you to come up and join us for a little bit now, if I can intrude. So, welcome, Gavin Trail. So, Gavin is the driving force behind the Firies Stair Climb. How many years have we been doing it?
This is number 6 in the mountains.
Number 6 for the stairs.
Tempus Katoomba. So we started in 2020 with where's Rob Philpott? Sean Philpott, where is he? There he is, Sean Philpott. 6 years ago, when we couldn't do it up the Tower Pond, up Sydney Tower anymore. It's not Centrepoint, it's Sydney Tower, isn't it, Dave? Sydney Tower. So we came up with the concept of doing a virtual climb on the stairs, Tempus Stairs, and I think we did, what did we do, mate? 3.5 hours. We raised about $3,700 or something like that. So that was the first time when we couldn't get up the tower. And then over the years, it's grown from a 3.5 hour event to a 12, to a 16, to an 18, to last year we had people doing it for the first time for 24 hours. We had folks on the stairs last year. We did over 70 Ks. I think they did the elevation of Mount Everest, which was amazing. And last year we raised just over $67,000.
Where are we at this year in terms of fundraising?
As we sit here right now, we're just short of $96,000. It's incredible. So the uptake this year has been absolutely fantastic. We've got people coming from all over New South Wales. We've got people coming from all over Australia this year to participate, which has been really, really exciting. We've actually got 2 Firies coming over from New Zealand this year to be a part of it. So they'll be there on the Saturday mornings. The exponential growth has been incredible. It's been great.
So what do we have to do to get up to? So what's the goal you reckon at this point? Obviously, we've got to crack 100.
What's the goal, Dominic?
Yeah.
Obviously, we set a figure of 100,000 this year, which I comfortably think we're going to achieve, which is great. Obviously, if we can exceed it, that'd be even better. The efforts from the community, Firies, from local businesses this year has been absolutely unbelievable. And the committee, we can't thank you enough for your assistance and your help and your support behind the scenes, sharing the pages. Your enthusiasm has been absolutely infectious, and it's incredible just to see grow each year. It's quite overwhelming, actually. It's wonderful. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, everyone. Really
So this is a trail running podcast, so I want to know what the record is number.
Well, I think that might be achieved this year, mightn't it?
Lee Shakespeare would have that with 33.
35 laps, 24 hours.
24 hours, which is pretty cool.
It's pretty solid.
Doc, what did you achieve last year, mate?
Just over 20.
Just over 20. That's all.
That's awesome.
In my wheelchair.
And then we've got the young rooster down in front here, Fionn. What was it last year, mate? 7.5.
If Fionn, come up here quickly. Just quickly come up here.
You can have a seat, mate. You can sit next to Rob.
Just talking to the mic here, Fionn. So how many laps did you do last year?
7.5.
7.5. Okay. Do you have a goal this year?
10.
10. Wow. You got some fundraising going? Awesome. Do you know how much you've raised?
I think like 1,700.
Awesome.
What are you going to eat?
Lots of junk.
Yeah. That's trail running food. Yeah, definitely.
Well, best of luck.
Yeah, good luck, Fionn. Well done.
So the kickoff time is midday tomorrow, right?
That's
Rock up, 24 hours to do the set numbers that you intended to do.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, for midday, so midday to 6 a.m. on the Saturday morning. That'll be for Runners Trail runners. Then for the first time since the tower climb this year, we'll have Firies on the stairs this year, which is going to be fantastic, like we used to do on the tower climb. Hazmat Logistics down in Sydney were good enough to give me 50 BA sets. So they're all ready to go, and you'll have Firies up and down the stairs for 6 hours this year, which is going to be fantastic. That'll be a good sight, and rumour has it we may be climbing in snow this year. I think our temperature is 3 to 8 degrees or something, is it? 3 to 8 or 3 to 9 or
Bring
something
your
like
thermals.
that. So it's going to be brisk.
It's a mandatory gig.
Just, yeah. But no, it's going to be good fun, really good fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Gav, and definitely thanks for all the effort that you put in for such a good cause.
And guys, thank you for supporting it. I appreciate it again. I really do. Thank you. And thanks everyone for coming. It's wonderful. Thank you.
All right, we're now going to ask the professor to come up. Professor Dom. All right, Dominic, you just have to talk into the mic. We want to get a good recording as well.
Yeah, listen, don't give the bald, short, fat guy the mic. You never get it back.
I've heard that. So what we've got is someone dialing in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So that'll be when we yeah, exactly. So we have till then to talk about whatever you want to talk about. So maybe I'll throw over these guys to start the discussion.
All right, could you summarise the situation with M and D now?
So motor neurone disease is the worst of all diseases. You wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. Unfortunately, 1 in 200 of us will get MND. 800 deaths a year. From 1986 to 2023, 20,000 Australians died from motor neurone disease. That's 2/3 the national road toll in that same era. So in that same era, we spent billions on roads and we spent fuck all on motor neurone disease. Some motor neurone disease is genetic, but most motor neurone disease is sporadic, out of the blue, like winning a shit lottery. We think that this is an environmental disease, and since I spoke last year at Scenic World, we've established the Motor Neurone Disease Surveillance Unit at Macquarie University, where we're counting who has motor neurone disease and where they live, because this disease is disproportionately a rural and regional disease, and it's disproportionately in men more than women. And we think that this is an occupational and recreational disease. So both Australia and New Zealand have the highest rates of motor neurone disease in the world. And some of the states in Australia, it's twice as common as other states. So in South Australia and in Tasmania, it's more common than in New South Wales or Victoria. And the co-association of motor neurone disease in South Australia and Tasmania is completely aligned with intensive agriculture.
Do you think that's pesticides? Is that the link? Yeah.
Pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. So it's what we're doing to our environment. Surprise, surprise, if we throw millions of kilograms of chemicals that are designed to kill cells. Insecticides kill insects by killing their motor neurons. Herbicides, fungicides accumulate in lipid, in fat. Have a guess what your brain is made from? Lipid. So we think that this is an environmental disease and we cannot get the regulators to understand it. We have more than expected Firies with motor neuron disease. In the United States, motor neuron disease is recognised as a consequence of active duty. So if you serve 60 days in a theatre of war for the US Defence Forces and you get motor neuron disease, the veterans recognise that as a consequence of your risk as a soldier or in the Air Force or in the Navy. So they are aware that this is a toxic disease. Now, why is this important? Well, if we understand cause, we can understand mechanism. And if we understand mechanism, we can stop this fucking disease. So from the 6th of January, I've seen 72 new people with motor neuron disease. I currently look after 250 people with motor neuron disease, ranging from the ages of 26 to 94. And it's just as cruel at 94 as it is at 26. This is not incurable. It's underfunded, but it's not incurable. To draw an analogy to cancer, so 15 years ago, if you had metastatic melanoma, your 5-year survival was 1%. Only 1% of people with metastatic melanoma lived 5 years. Now, in 2025, if you have metastatic melanoma, your 5-year survival is 50%. Now, that didn't come from pharmaceutical companies. It didn't come from top-down R&D. It came from the clinic. So from the clinic, scientists began to understand what mechanisms were involved. So we can't do anything about ultraviolet light, and we can't do anything about your genetic propensity to get melanoma. But if we understand the mechanism of how melanoma occurs, we can stop that. And one of my dear friends, who should have been dead 15 years ago, is melanoma-free because of the advances in the clinic. And that's what we try and do at Macquarie, is turn it on its head to understand who has motor neuron disease and where they live. So I currently look after a 46-year-old fellow who lives in Springview, just outside of Wagga. He was born just outside of Wagga. He's lived all of his life outside of Wagga. He doesn't have genetic motor neuron disease because we look for genetic motor neuron disease systematically. He's 46 with 5 kids and he's dying at the moment from motor neuron disease. Now, he's worked all of his life as a grazier, crops, cattle, lifelong vegetarian, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, fit as a fiddle, and he's fucked. That is occupational. Our regulators, our politicians do not give a fuck. The APVMA, which is responsible for regulating these poisons in our society, bears no responsibility. I can go to Farmers Warehouse or Nutrients Agricor and buy 1,000-litre IBC of any chemical that I wish and drive it off the lot. And after I drive it off the lot, unless what you produce is bound for export, no one cares. There's no closing the loop. You don't have to account for the poisons that you buy. The APVMA, the regulatory body that's responsible for approving these chemicals, reports to the Department of Agriculture. That's like the fox in charge of the hen house. Agribusiness does not care. We have to turn this on its head. We need to make our politicians understand that this is a rural and regional disease and it is an epidemic. From 1986, when I started working as a junior doctor, medical student, to now, neuron disease has increased by 2% per year. It's gone from 1 in 500 to 1 in 200 as a cause of death in Australia. That is a scandal. If I can, in my remaining career, however long that is, because I had a birthday this year, hopefully we can start the momentum turning it back the other way. We can only do that with science. We can do that with the support of the Firies Climb. So all of the money that has been raised by the Firies Climb, which is in excess of over $3 million since it started 10 years ago, has been solely directed to clinical trials, getting new therapies into patients that are biologically plausible to slow the progression of motor neurone disease. The average survival from diagnosis to death is 20. I manage the deaths of about 80 people a year. And I'm fucking sick of it. So we can focus last year, the Minns government was the first government ever in Australia to allocate money to understanding the geolocation of motor neuron disease, where it occurs and why it occurs. And that was $1 million. Now, I can get through $1 million before fucking lunch because I have a research staff of 100. I have a clinical staff of 15. So just do the math on the wages bill. This needs to be funded systematically, and we need to do it in an absolutely cold-blooded fashion. The amazing thing about this event is it's community-driven. It is absolutely breathtaking, and it makes me very humble to sit here in front of you because you guys drive it. Gavin drives it. And before him, Matty Pridham. And Matty Pridham started it because his best mate had a genetic form of motor neuron disease called SOD1. Now, the terrible thing is that Adam didn't get a chance to get transformative therapies that I can give now to people with SOD1 motor neuron disease. So last week, Robert Smith, not from The Cure, but Rob, and he won't mind me telling you, it's a cultural reference for the youngies that don't understand 80s music. Because of your generosity, so he doesn't have health insurance, but he has an SOD1 mutation that causes motor neuron disease. But your generosity enabled me to bring him into hospital, and he got a first dose last week of a gene therapy that will dramatically improve his survival. So that's a direct output of the work that you guys do. The kilowatts that you expend on the stairs tomorrow, well, maybe I'll measure me in watts, but you guys in kilowatts, that's a direct result. Next week, again, because of your efforts, we have a world first therapy, genomic therapy, that's a different approach to SOD1. And again, Naomi won't mind me mentioning her name, but she'll be the third person in the world to get this special therapy to try and reduce her expression of this SOD1 and dramatically improve her survival. So it's a completely different method as opposed to the one that Robert got last week. At the end of this year, we hope to start a genomic trial for sporadic motor neuron disease. So we have gene therapies for genetic motor neuron disease, but we actually have developed a genomic therapy for sporadic motor neuron disease that's Macquarie born and bred. It's 10-year back history. And in November, December this year, our first patients will get this therapy. And this is a one and done. This is a single shot therapy. And it's a little bit Stephen King, so I won't go into the details, but we're not creating zombies down in Macquarie. I assure you, it's not going to be the zombie apocalypse. We only get the ability to do this because of philanthropy. So each year, M&D Research Unit, which has an operating cost of around about $10 million a year, is dependent on the $2 to $3 million a year that we get from the community. Without that money, we can't do that. We can't run our M&D clinic. We can't engage in novel therapeutic trials to dramatically change the face of this disease. The importance of events like this is that it's community-driven, and it's from the community and from the clinic that will fix this wretched disease. Now, by my internal clock, I've hit about 15 minutes. Is that right?
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. Right here we go. I do have to say, I was at the gala dinner.
Yeah.
And I saw that you were a hot option item at the gala dinner. So just tell us, remind me again, because I can't remember, how many, you got auctioned off to do how many laps?
22. So I really...
How's the training?
So it was $1,000 a lap, and I really found out who my friends were because they all want to fucking kill me. So, I mean, maybe there's some sort of knife hanging out of my back. But anyhow, Baldrick, I have a cunning plan. So I have printed up some doppelganger T-shirts. And I've got some bald cap. So anyone who wants to run some laps for me gets a free doppelganger t-shirt and a bald cap. So although I have been hit by a bus to do 22 laps, I'm going to do as many as I can. So last year I surprised myself in doing 3 and actually pulling up not too bad. Although, to put it in context, as I said at the gala dinner, I managed to do 29 minutes on my last lap. And as I was getting up to the top and my Apple Watch was screaming at me, "Stop, you stupid old bastard." This beautiful young woman sort of gazelled past me at the top. And I said, "Oh, how'd you go?" And she said, "Oh, I'm a bit disappointed." And I said, "Well, I'm really pleased. I did 29 minutes." And she said, "Yeah, I'm disappointed. It was 19 for me. Youth is wasted on the young." But so I will do as many as I can tomorrow. And then depending as how I pull up on Saturday, I'll have a crack again. So I don't know exactly how many I do. I am supposed to do 22, but I have reserved the right as I now have a seniors card. John, shut up. I have a seniors, I'm a card carrying senior, so I reckon I can delegate some laps provided people wear the doppelganger t-shirt.
How many caps and t-shirts have you got?
10.
10. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, Dominic, thanks for doing that. It'll be amazing.
Well, I'll see.
Good luck tomorrow.
Well, I'll see how I go. My beautiful wife, Sal, is over here. And my son's coming too. So my son, Davey's coming to run laps for me and his girlfriend. But Sal
Not
said...
with me, but for me.
Yeah, for me. Absolutely. But Sal said to me the other day, she said, because we're heading off on I'm taking a month off for the first time in my life, as of actually today. But on Monday we fly out for a holiday, and she said, if you break your ankle, and she says it in such a sweet voice, but she's absolutely serious. So I'm going to try. Maybe I need to get a pair of those shoes tomorrow. It's going to have black shoes. They're not white.
Well, it looks like Mike was on. He's just dropped off again. So let's give him a minute to...
I'm prepared to purchase one of those t-shirts for $100. I'm in a de facto manner, do a few laps for you tomorrow.
Good job. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any volunteers? That's our hot one.
Yeah, doppelganger t-shirts. There we go.
3.
Fantastic. Excellent. Beautiful. Well, it came to me because at the end of the gala dinner, as we were driving home, Sal said, "You fucking can't do 22 laps." I'm not making it up.
But all those facts you shared are so powerful for a lot of us. I've never heard any of those facts before, to be educated. You hear things about pesticides, but just that direct link is so, So thank you so much for everything you've shared today. That's really helps us. The more we can educate ourselves, educate others, and obviously build hopefully more secured funding through government and industry.
Thanks, Sarah.
I think it's really important work, and so do we all probably in the room. So thank you so much. We'll probably pass to Michael now, but thank you. For those that don't know Michael Dunstan, he's of 828, which is pretty damn good. Winner of Buffalo Stampede 100K this year, 2025. Second at Hounslow Classic Marathon, 2024. And winner 2023. Third in the Ultra Trail Snowdonia Miler, 2024. First in GPT 100 Mile, 2023. Such a painful race. And then third at Madeira Island Ultra Trail, 2023. So he's stepping up to the line of UTMB tomorrow, time Saturday. Kickoff's Friday afternoon, 3 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Mike, how are you feeling for UTMB?
I'm feeling nervous, to be honest. I hope you can hear me, but yeah. It's pretty rainy day today, and I'll get to walk out and watch the OCC runners come through in Argentina soon. So it's been pretty exciting. It's a good energy over here.
How has your preparation been for this race, and how long have you been in Europe? Please give us the rundown.
Yeah, so I got into Europe on July 24th, and I spent, I think, 5 days in Chamonix, which was nice and new. A couple of days just feeling very jet lagged and getting back to running again. And then did the back 90 kilometers of the course with Lucy. And it was interesting because I feel like I felt really fit leaving home, and then just with the jet lag and everything, like I really struggled on the course recce and just felt a bit out of sync for a bit. And I was like, oh boy, like this race is going to be tough if I feel like this. And then afterwards I went up to Teens, which is at altitude, to train, and I was there for 25 days, and that was like another step of feeling like just pretty sluggish because it was just obviously quite tricky running at altitude. So I think a week or two there, it was pretty humbling at the start. And then, yeah, how I was running at the end of the teens block felt like a completely different version of me. So I think it was good to spend some time at altitude because I underestimated, how tricky it is to feel strong, I guess, above, like, realistically at the higher, like the 2,500 meter mark. Yeah. So feeling fit, body's feeling good. I think, I'm just mentally, I'm definitely nervous and just want to be smart, and still a little bit to organize in the last day and a bit, but excited.
Did I hear correctly that you were sleeping in a climatization chamber?
I was very fortunate that Benny Saint let me use his altitude tent when I was back in the Blueies, and it's actually really interesting because I did feel like I got a fair bit fitter, but it was really quite stressful. So had to be super vigilant there was a couple of times where I jumped out of it for like 4 days. And then also it was interesting, when I got to teens, I actually found that it was a lot easier sleeping at real altitude than in the tent, like a lot less stressful. So it was a good experience, but maybe I think it helped me just once I got to teens, like maybe the process of feeling good there was a little bit shorter. So
Like I noticed
I was just going to say, compared to the last time I went to altitude in America, the tent definitely helped. So, I'd do it again.
Oh, nice. I noticed that just through social media and Facebook, more specifically, there's quite a few Australians spending a lot of time over in teams. Does it feel like a home away from home over there?
Yeah, well, it's quite funny because I actually had never met Emily Brunt before, I guess like the back end of the teens trip. And it was really cool. I got to sit down and have lunch with herself and Sean. It definitely helped me out with some knowledge about the course, the parts that I haven't seen. And then I guess, also I bumped into Beth McKenzie in and she helped me out with a lift back from teens all the way to Chamonix, then to Argentina. And for reference, I had to pay for a private shuttle on the way there, so she saved me about $500 and was just so kind of her. So it's cool. I feel like the Aussies helping out the Aussies over here.
Excellent.
Have you run into any superstar yet, apart from yourself?
Well, it's actually so funny. We've actually got a Summit superstar. He was in our building this morning. Will Vidler's been in our apartment having a coffee this morning. I was like, nice of you to send him out to support me. But it was hilarious, actually. Yeah, thank you. No, it was so funny. Yesterday morning, Jeremy and I, Jeremy's here as well. He's just right here. We were at the bakery down here in Argentina, which is just 10-15 minutes out of Chamonix, and Francesco Puppi ran past and he was looking really good, and Jeremy couldn't control his excitement and goes, "It's Francesco Puppi," and like just so loud, and the whole cafe heard, and you just and then I think in our elevator down here was the ETC winner, Madalena Florio. Yeah, so there's some amazing runners all around, and I can't wait to catch a glimpse of Jim at the aid station out in front of our apartment soon. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I guess the first question I really want to know is, what shoes are you wearing?
Yeah, so I've got 2 pairs of the Prodigio Pros, that I've brought over with me, and I know Rob Philpott was telling me to try save a pair for race day a long time ago, and it took so much restraint not to wear it in the block, but I'm glad I did. So I've got 1 pair that I've of Prodigio Pros that I've ran about 100 Ks in. That seems to be just like a distance that I feel like they feel worn in, but they still feel fresh. And then I've got 1 that's quite well worn in that I did most of the block, and that's maybe got 500 Ks, but to be honest, it still feels like brand new kind of thing. So I'll just rotate between those 2. I think it's going to be quite wet, so shoe change could be cool. Yeah,
I've heard the weather's going to be pretty gnarly. How do you think that's going to? What's your thoughts about the weather? Does it worry you? You don't really care, or just whatever?
Maybe just like the fact that the cold weather kit's activated and the way people are talking, it sounds like more gnarly than potentially will be. I'm not sure, but they're saying, it's going to be negative wind chill and wet. So maybe the high parts of the course will be, I can imagine if you weren't moving well or you're hiking slow, you could get really cold. But to be honest, I'd much prefer running in cool weather than hot weather. Even being based from Australia or originally from WA, I just think racing at high intensity is so much easier when it's colder. So I think I'll just have to be smart about putting on the gloves and the jacket halfway up the climb before we get in too high or anything. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. It seems so shifty here. Like the forecast is one thing, and then what you get in the day just seems to be another.
Yeah. Have you got a section of the course like from what? So you've recce'd a good chunk of the course.
Yeah. So the back 90 kilometers I've recce'd. Yeah.
And so is there a section that you're kind of looking forward to that you like that looked kind of like your style of running?
Yeah, I actually really am excited about Champe Lac to Chamonix, and it's probably easy to be excited about it when you're not 130 k's in, but I think it really is similar to a lot of the grade and profile of a lot of the stuff in the Blueies. Like there's 3 climbs which are they're in the 3 to 5k range for 700 or 800 up, and so like if you're feeling good hiking, I think they remind me of a bit like horse track, to be honest. And I've trained a lot on that. So, and then the downhills are kind of steep and technical, and I just think, yeah, if you're moving well through there, it'd be just a really fun, like solid end to the race. So hoping to get there feeling good, and it feels like the Blueies. So yeah.
Well, you have put in such a solid training block. I've been watching it on Strava, and a lot of people in the room here. There's about 50 in the room here today. You have controlled all the controllables. I feel like from behalf of everyone here, like not adding any pressure, but totally warm Blue Mountain vibes to just have the best time and good luck and just go for it. Yeah, we're all backing you and all going to be watching the race. So very exciting.
Have you gone into Chamonix and looked at some of the other races and got sort of soaked up the hype, or you're trying to stay away from it?
No, I have been in Chamonix a fair bit. Spent a fair bit of time in there yesterday, just getting the bib and cruising around the expo and things like that. I saw some of the first finishes of the MCC race, and then I saw some of the last finishes of TDS yesterday. And yeah, I think it's actually been good. I think I was probably fearing how much energy and excitement there is, but then when I got in there, like you look at the way that people are just like randoms in the street are clapping and applauding, but just like genuinely supporting anyone in the field. And it just feels like a really cool vibe that, yeah, I think it's been like a more positive spin, like, wow, this is going to be, regardless of what happens, it's going to be special to like soak in this kind of atmosphere.
And I reckon that's the approach you should take. Like, you run into some of these towns and it's just full. It's like the Tour de France for trail runners, and just soak in that positive energy and the good vibes for sure. Has anyone got any questions they want to ask Rob? Nothing got anyone? Anyone ask Mike? Sorry. All right.
So, Mike, besides the first sort of 3 or 4 k's, which is very fast and needs to be, just because otherwise you just get swamped and trampled. But whereabouts strategically are you hoping that your race is going to start?
I think realistically, I want to get to Courmayeur feeling pretty good. There's the climb up to Grand Col Ferret, and then also the long descent down into La Folie, and then up. I guess like that's afterwards, after Courmayeur, and I just think like if you're not feeling good there's a lot of balcony running before you get to Grand Col Ferret, and I just think if you're feeling good and running smooth, you just move through there really nicely. But yeah, so I think realistically up to Courmayeur, I want to be still running firm, but just I don't want to be feeling like I'm really racing at all. So that's the good part about seeing the back 90 is that the back 90 is a doozy. So it's been able to put into perspective that even just that 90 kilometers alone is a big mission. So yeah, don't set yourself up for failure. So yeah, just don't want to get caught up in the hype at the start. So I know it's going to be fast and furious until, even Le Contamines, which is 33 k's in. So just try to, settle down, and even if I'm fair way back. So
yeah, I think that's smart. Don't forget Ludo came back from 49th place to win a few years ago. So yeah, don't get too wrapped up in not being up with the front markers.
Well, I think you've yeah, that's all right. You've it's been seeing Mike and his preparation. You've put everything out there, so well done for that. Good luck, and I think everyone here is wishing you all the best. So thanks, Mike. All right, well, I think that's a wrap, guys.
Thank you very much, Tempus, Lou,
Yeah, thanks, Lou
Brendan.
and Baby.
Thanks all of you coming out.
By the time we've edited this, you'll never know there was any technical issues. But thanks everyone for coming. It's been awesome. Thank you.